Hello, I'm David Rose, and thanks for joining us for this Washington's Most Wanted update in partnership with Crime Stoppers. And we begin with the hunt for a pair of brothers on the run tonight. Take a look at Sonny Ramirez Wells on the left and his little brother Raymond Wells on the right. Both are well known to law enforcement, and they are wanted by Lacey Police for first-degree robbery after detectives say they identified them as a pair of armed suspects who terrified a barista at the Blend's coffee stand on Pacific Avenue in broad daylight. Surveillance video from outside the coffee stand last month shows the two suspects walk across the parking lot towards the coffee stand just before 2:30 in the afternoon on January 19th. Detectives say that's Raymond Wells in the red hoodie and Sonny in the dark sweatshirt. Well, Raymond takes the lead and he goes up to the drive-through window. Detectives say he ordered 2 drinks and then he showed the real motive that they were there for.
He's got, it looks like his hand or a firearm. It has the shape of a handgun inside of like a hat. And then you see him jump actually into the business.
Well, the barista reacts quickly and throws the ice scooper she's holding at him. Police always advise to never fight back, but that's a personal decision, and she felt she needed to defend herself. Well, then she made the very smart decision to quickly jump out of the window on the other side of the coffee shop to escape. Detectives say Raymond headed straight to the cash register, ripped it right off the counter, and then jumped back out the window. Outside, you see the barista running to get help at the convenience store across the parking lot. The two brothers bolting back around the side of the store, leaving the same way they came.
She was terrified. She was absolutely terrified. And I think it's reasonable to say that she thought that she might lose her life. She believed a handgun is pointed at her. But she reacted quickly and she got away from the situation, and she is okay. She's physically okay, but she is certainly traumatized by the incident.
Detectives say the empty register and beanie that Raymond used to conceal the gun were found on the side of the road a few miles from the coffee stand. Detectives put photos of the two suspects out to the public on their social media, and they had them identified 2 days later, thanks to someone who knew the brothers and had seen them wearing the same clothes in a store in Yelm hours before the robbery. Raymond Wells is 23 years old. He's also wanted in Thurston County for 4 pending cases, including hit and run and eluding. His older brother, Sonny, is 24 years old. He has a large tattoo on his left hand. And when the robbery happened, he was already out on bail for a slew of charges, including first-degree attempted robbery, malicious harassment, 2 counts of assault, and unlawful possession of a firearm, all stemming from a gas station robbery where Sonny is accused of firing a shot at a clerk. If you spot either of the Wells brothers, call 911 and then submit the information to Crime Stoppers of the South Sound so you can get the cash reward of up to $1,000. If you know where they're staying, if you know if they've got a vehicle, if you know anybody they might be with, submit that information right now, 1-800-222-TIPS, or use the P3 Tips app that you can download to your cell phone for free. It is anonymous. And tonight, the search is on for a suspect wanted in a horrific case after police say a young man beat and raped his ex at gunpoint, videotaped it, and then sent that video to her new boyfriend. King County Sheriff's detectives are asking for your help to find 20-year-old Michael McIntosh. Prosecutors have charged him with rape in the 3rd degree and assault in the 2nd degree. He's wanted after failing to report into the court so his case could proceed.
This is a horrible crime, and we want to thank the detectives at the Des Moines Police Department for preparing such a thorough and good investigation. In December of 2019, just days before Christmas, Mr. McIntosh sexually assaulted and raped his former girlfriend in just a horrible case that he videotaped on Snapchat and did so with a revolver. Just a terrible, terrible crime. The courts agree. A $100,000 warrant has been issued for his arrest. He's wanted in all 50 states.
McIntosh also goes by Monty Jackson. He's 6'2", 155 pounds. He's believed to be in the Kent area or somewhere in South King County. McIntosh has a tattoo on the inside of his right forearm of praying hands and Psalm 91. It teaches that God is with you during times of trouble. So I would beseech Mr. McIntosh to do the right thing and surrender. If he doesn't, he will quickly find out there is nowhere left to hide, thanks to all of you. If you know where detectives can locate him, submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound for a cash reward of up to $1,000. Now, Snohomish County Sheriff's detectives are hoping you know the name of this extremely bold burglar who is accused of pulling off a really gutsy inside job. He stole a box van and credit cards from a business that he had just started working for.
While he was burglarizing the business, he also stole his personnel file before the company had the opportunity to get it entered into their payroll system, so his true identity is currently unknown. He had just been working at this place for a short amount of time. He snuck in, obviously, while other employees were not there. He knows there's surveillance. He looks right at the camera, so we do have a pretty good shot of him. We do know that he told other employees that his name was AJ, possibly Anthony. He also provided a Cleveland, Ohio phone number and did correspond with people using that phone number.
Well, this burglary happened on January 30th. The box van he stole was found a week later in West Seattle. The credit cards he took were used in the South King County area. Again, he said his name was AJ or Anthony, but that could be a lie. He told the business he had moved here from Ohio with his girlfriend who lives in Bellingham, but she dumped him when they got here. So if any of that info rings a bell, or if you just simply recognize him, please submit a tip right now to Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound. You can do it through the P3 Tips app on your cell phone or call the hotline. There is a cash reward of up to $1,000. All you have to do is give up his name. This next crew of armed and dangerous robbery suspects has hit 2 marijuana shops in North Seattle so far this year. So first, take a look at their dark-colored Toyota Camry with no license plate and a trip permit in the window in the back. It was used for both robberies. Now, these surveillance images are from just before midnight on January 12th, when the 4 masked and hooded suspects entered a store in the 300 block of North 36th Street in the Fremont neighborhood. They ordered employees to get on the ground. At least 2 of the suspects were armed with guns. They stole tens of thousands of dollars worth of marijuana before fleeing. Then, 4 days later, they hit a store right before closing time on North 105th Street in Greenwood. They rampaged through the shop, stealing a large amount of product and cash from the register.
They're like these shock and awe robberies where they go storming in, putting guns drawn, going in with putting customers and staff on the ground, and then they rob the shelves and take off. The sad part about that one is the only female employee coming out locking up for the night. They force her at gunpoint to reopen the store, go back in, load up again, and drive away.
Well, to add insult to injury, one suspect demanded the clerk's purse, steals her stuff inside, and just throws it on the ground. So take one more look at their clothes and those yellow gloves. Seattle police describe all 4 suspects as black with medium builds. If you know who any of them are, or if you can tell detectives where to find that Toyota Camry, submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound. You will receive a cash reward of up to $1,000. Call the hotline or text the information and any photos you have of them through the P3 Tips app on your cell phone. Now, a renewed push to help King County Sheriff's detectives locate this suspect caught on video masturbating on a bus. Prosecutors have charged James Vargas with indecent exposure, and the court has issued a warrant for his arrest. Detectives say Vargas was identified thanks to tips from our viewers. Now, this all started when deputies say a woman listened to her gut that something was wrong with this guy riding the bus near her. So she started recording cell phone video without him knowing about it. The video showed him expose himself as the bus rode from downtown Seattle to Lake City Way, and then he started masturbating. The expression on his face never changed. It's just creepy. He boarded the Route 522 bus at Madison Street and 4th Avenue. Well, the video is extremely graphic, but you see there, he's waving at the victim to try to get her attention to watch him. He had no idea he was being recorded. He never said a word and exited the bus at the stop near 125th on Lake City Way.
There's one thing that we'd like the Washington's Most Wanted viewers to consider is that we may discount this story as just a creepy fella on a bus, but today's misdemeanor on a bus is tomorrow's felony in a park, and we're concerned that his behavior will escalate into an assault or even worse, and we very much want to get him in custody.
James Vargas is 23 years old, 6 feet tall, and weighs 160 pounds. He may be in the University District or in the Snoqualmie Valley area. This guy needs some serious help, but detectives say most suspects like this don't seek treatment until they are caught. If you know where deputies can find Vargas, submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers of Puget Sound for that cash reward of up to $1,000. Use the P3 Tips app that you can download to your cell phone for free or call 1-800-222-TIPS. An update tonight on a case that many of you have been concerned about, and with good reason. A dive instructor was beaten and robbed in Des Moines while he was just doing his civic duty, cleaning up glass in a parking lot before his class arrived. Now, he declined to speak with me on camera, but he did talk to me on the phone this week. He says his jaw is still wired shut. His medical bills have run into the tens of thousands of dollars, and he's not sure when he'll be able to even go back into the water again. Well, this is surveillance video from Saturday, January 16th at about 6 a.m. at Redondo Beach in Des Moines. The victim took it upon himself to sweep up trash that he saw in the parking lot. Well, two suspects approached him and they said something to him, and then one of the suspects just starts hitting him, pushing him back to the center of the parking lot. And as the attack continues, 10 other suspects get out of 4 cars, start running towards the victim, ganging up on him for a beatdown. You see the one suspect just hitting him and putting the boots to his head. That caused serious injuries. The suspects then got into the victim's vehicle and they stole his personal items. And then they all jumped back into their cars and took off. Now you can see all 4 vehicles at a stoplight. And this is where police are hoping that you can help.
The suspects leave the scene in 4 separate vehicles: a white Chrysler 200, a silver Ford Expedition, a Ford Fiesta, also silver in color, and a Jeep Compass, also silver in color. And in particular, the Expedition has a roof rack that can be seen. You can see the outline of a black, what appears to be a roof rack on the top of the Expedition. We're hopeful that the public can look at these videos and photographs and help us establish who the responsible parties are for this incident. This was a brutal crime. We do not want to have this go unpunished, and we want to have Redondo a safe area for those people that choose to use it.
As I said, the victim's still recovering from his injuries. His fellow divers were shocked about this when they heard what happened. Jim Miner says he's hoping his friend is able to heal enough to get back in the water soon.
Normally, this is one of the safest places you can go diving. I understand he got here super early, but even then, it's usually not at all on our minds, scuba divers, that we're going to encounter any problems here.
Senseless, cruel, horrific. An innocent man cleaning up other people's trash while waiting for his dive students, and a dozen hateful thieves attack him. Des Moines police are asking for any witnesses who were there that morning to contact them. Again, this was Saturday, January 16th. Also, check your surveillance cameras to see if you have any better video of the suspects or their vehicles. They were spotted in Federal Way right after the attack, and some of the victims' stolen belongings were found on the ground near Federal Way High School. So take one more look at the 4 vehicles. Do you know who drives them, who owns them? If you can tell Des Moines police anything at all to help solve this case, you're going to get a cash reward of up to $1,000. And I'm offering personally another $1,000 for the idea of that scumbag in those light-colored pants that punched him to start all of this. So you're going to get $2,000 just for doing the right thing. Call the hotline at 1-800-222-TIPS or text the tip through the P3 Tips app on your cell phone. Do it now. You will remain anonymous. A warning tonight to anybody who commits a crime in Des Moines from this night forward. There are 2 new canines on the streets there protecting the community.
Good boy.
Meet Canine Iggy, Des Moines PD's new narcotics dog.
Find it.
He's a cross between a Dutch Shepherd and a Malinois.
Canine Iggy was rescued from a shelter in Yuma, Arizona. He's 14 months old.
Good boy.
And this is Canine Ranger, the department's new tracking dog, now working with patrol.
Ranger is a German Shepherd. He's 3 years old. He came from Alabama. Here. Good boy. Yes, a good boy.
Ranger and Iggy both recently completed hundreds of hours of training.
Good boy.
Iggy's handler is Officer Mark Hake.
I began my career in law enforcement about 18 years ago, and I certified as a police canine handler about 13 years ago.
He knows the dangers these dogs can face when sniffing out drugs.
We have a first aid kit ready for the canine just in the event he ingests something that he should not. So I have a change of behavior, and he's indicating.
Ranger will face dangers of his own.
Down. Des Moines Police Department with K9. You are under arrest. If you're in the area, make yourself known now. You may be bit.
His handler is Officer Doug Weeble.
You're going after the most dangerous guys, and you're serving a purpose. apprehending those guys.
Ranger can also sniff out any evidence like a handgun or a piece of clothing dropped by a suspect. His reward? His favorite tug toy.
Down.
Yes. Oh, that's a good boy. Yes. Yes, that's a good boy. Yes. Oh, you found that guy.
To these canine handlers, the dogs are more than partners.
You're constantly taking care of them. So, I mean, I spend more time with the dog than I do my wife, so.
When Iggy isn't doing police work, he's an energetic, friendly family pet.
He has his own room. He goes for walks and runs with me. We go to the beach, hiking, and he likes a lot of belly rubs in between.
Both handlers say they hope to have years together with their canines, helping to keep Des Moines safe.
I guess the final message would be you can run, but you can't hide.
Bellevue police say your tips identified the suspects in a robbery at a Safeway store last June when a clerk was attacked after trying to stop them from stealing liquor. Now, we are blurring the video now because it turned out they're juveniles. The two suspects arrested are the teen in the red jacket, who is 16, and the one in the ripped jean jacket and crop top, she's just 14 years old.
So once again, if it were not for Washington Most Wanted viewers and the help of Crime Stoppers tips, we probably would not have been able to solve this crime. 3 of the 4 suspects were positively identified, and detectives were able to develop probable cause on 2 of them, and they were charged with robbery and minor in possession. So we are very thankful for the assistance.
Officers determined the 3rd suspect in the olive skirt there, who just turned 18 this month, was a lookout, but they didn't have enough probable cause to get her charged. However, she is currently under investigation for an assault case on December 1st in King County. Deputies say she and the suspect in the red jacket threatened someone with a knife. Those arrests bring the total number of fugitives you have helped catch to 1,196. So that's a look at some of the cases featured this weekend on Washington's Most Wanted. To see all of them, join me tonight at 11 o'clock on Q13 Fox, and tomorrow night at 9:30 on Joe TV and 10:30 on Q13 Fox. Washington's Most Wanted also airing on Fox TV stations in Spokane, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities at 10:30 p.m. Saturday night. Together, let's make sure these criminals have nowhere left to hide.